I'm still in my purple era, y'all. So stick around and I'll show you how I do this look using a new palette I just got. Welcome back, Awakening Beauties. So glad to have you with me today. And I am so excited to try out the Love Language palette. That was a collaboration between Odin's Eye and Morgan Turner, who has a really good YouTube channel. If you haven't seen it, check her out. This all started, you guys, when I found out I really like purple eyeshadow. And this was released around the same time that I had that discovery, but I couldn't bring myself to buy it. But I eventually did buy it, and I've had this since, well, I ordered it back at the end of May, but haven't had a chance to dig into it until now. So here it is, and as you can see, there are a lot of purples and pinks in here, but there's also some very wearable shades up in here, some neutrals. So I think she did a really good job. Let me take the film off. I think she did a really good job with this collaboration, and these are some really fun colors over here. And so I think for today's look, though, I'm going to stick in this little quadrant right here and see how that turns out. But I'm sure I will, if I do any more makeup videos, which I feel like I've been doing a lot lately, and I really enjoy it. So I'll definitely have to try out some of the other colors. This is my first palette from Odin's Eye. I'm excited to see what this is going to be like on me. Some of the sparkly shades got all over me. I do want to swatch this. Let's go ahead and swatch it. I got these slightly out of order. This is actually the bottom row because I ran out of space. This is 829, Giggle, Gifts, Crush, and then this is the top row across Heart, Valentine, Service, Quality Time, Cuddles, Amour, Affirmation, Touch, Flirt, Treat, Date Night, and Daydream. I am going to start with my Milani Conceal and Perfect. I picked up the right color for me, and I've just been wearing this nonstop since I got it. I really like it. So we're going to start with that, and I am going to use also the Milani Conceal and Perfect primer that I have been enjoying with it. I didn't really show what it looked like, but that's what it looks like in the jar. And then it has a little spatula that comes with it. And I've just been focusing on this area of my face, kind of the center, to try to blur my pores around my nose. And then right here, like the forehead lines, it does a little bit of blurring. I still think that I like my Ulta brand pore blurring primer. I think it's so good. But we're gonna use this because we bought it and we might as well use it. So the way I've been applying this is kind of just swiping it on, getting a good amount of coverage, and then using a foundation brush to pounce and really get it into the skin. It is really amazing to see how far drugstore formulas have come, because this is a really good stick foundation. I still think I like my Bosma a little bit more, but I just look at this side compared to this side. It just really evened out my complexion. It's just so nice. It doesn't feel heavy once it's on. You don't even feel it throughout the day. And it does stay. It has good staying power. So the more I've been using this product, the more I like it. I was, not that I was on the fence about it, but once I've sort of gotten to know the best way to apply it and have tested it over many days of wearing it, I just think it's a really good product. I'm going to do a little color correcting at the corners of my eyes, and I'm just going to use the Milani. It's also the Conceal and Perfect product. It's a color corrector in the color Melon. This is a really good line, this Conceal and Perfect. And honestly, like, maybe because it's summer, and in summer you don't want to wear a ton of makeup. Maybe it's just because I went several weeks without wearing makeup when I was traveling in Peru. But I've just been very conservative about what I do with my under eyes, especially. So I'm just gonna use a tiniest amount of my Natasha Denona. Just like the tiniest amount, because I've almost been feeling like I look better without concealer. So I've been just really being conservative about my concealer. And I am gonna prime my eyes with my MAC paint pot in the color Painterly. I'm not sure how these eyeshadows are going to work. It's my first time using Odin's eye formula, so I want it to last. I want my makeup to last, and so I'm giving it the best chance possible. Oh, I didn't wear any jewelry today. Oh well. You can't remember everything. I tell myself you can't remember everything. There's so much to remember when you're recording videos. So we just finished Prime Day, or Prime Days, I should say, because it was more than one day. And I'm proud of myself. There was a lot of stuff in my cart. I mean, I had thousands of dollars worth of product that I wanted to get, but I took most of it out. I did end up getting this little sweater that I love. I will link it below. And also I'm gonna link all of the products that I'm using today below, so check out the description box. But I love this sweater. I had it in another color, like a coral kind of color, which you've probably seen in other videos, and then I got it in the white, and now I'm regretting that I didn't buy it in more colors because it is so flattering and so comfortable. I love it. I'm so glad I got the white. How did you guys do in Prime Day? Did you stick to a budget? Did you go crazy? Did you ignore it altogether? I probably should have ignored it, but alas, I didn't. I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyebrows and we'll speed through this. Before I get to my eyes, I'm gonna also use this Milani Cheek Kiss in the color Hey Honey. This is a cream bronzer, and I did try it out for the first time in my last video, and I kind of applied things in the wrong order. I should have applied this before my blush because I felt like it really muddied up my blush. So this week I've been using it first, setting it down, and really liking the way that it's looking by using it like this. I think this is a really good drugstore cream bronzer. It's warm, but it's not too warm. I think it's a really good color. I've just been taking across my nose, just wanting to look like just a little sun-kissed. I'm not gonna do too much. I'm not like doing any sculpting or anything today. And I didn't bring in a powder bronzer, but also sometimes go over top of it with a powder bronzer just to sort of set it, but we're not gonna do that today. We're skipping a few steps today. Now, I'm excited. Let's get into this. So I do appreciate that she puts some neutral colors in here. This whole quadrant is very wearable, but we're gonna do this. I have no idea what this is gonna turn out like. I just swatched everything. So I hadn't even swatched everything. So I guess I'm gonna start with this color here, Cherish. I am kind of blotting off my brush because I don't know if there's gonna be fallout. I don't know if it's going to go on super pigmented. Okay, that's not bad. And if you'll notice, I did not do a prime video. I don't know, would you guys have liked me to have done a prime video whenever there are prime days? I sort of hesitate to do any of that because I don't want to encourage overspending on my channel. If you've been with me a while, you'll know that I did a no-buy year in 2023. I did a no-buy year. I'm just taking the color Gifts. It's a glitter color, and I'm just using my finger. I really don't know how to use this. It feels like a creamy formula, and I don't know if it's supposed to be more of a topper shade. Might have been a mistake to go in just like that with that. That is very glittery. Okay, probably should have used this color. This is the color Treat. Probably should have done this first. I'm not gonna blame the formula. I'm gonna blame the fact that I didn't know how to use a formula. Because I do think that that's more of a topper kind of shade or formula. I look like I'm going clubbing. I don't know if it's picking up on camera just how sparkly it is, but it's very, very, very sparkly. This shade isn't. The shade that I'm using right now is not. But I will say that these are very creamy. When I was swatching them, I noticed how creamy the formulas were. And that is blending very nicely. Like, it's not patchy at all. I'm gonna go on into Date Night, a small packing brush, and just get that outer corner. What I like about these colors is like they are true purple. They're not like reddish purples or bluish purples. Like, they are actual purple. This is a palette that is just like fun. It's a very fun palette. I don't know how long they're gonna have this in stock, because from what I've heard is that it's sort of like once they sell out of this, that's it. They won't be restocking it, because they're always coming out with new palettes. So I wanted to get it before it was gone forever. Wow, this is a color I have never worn. I have never worn this color of purple on my eyes ever before. Let's see if I can sort of soften using the color Service, which is just the most neutral vanilla color. I'm just gonna take it along the edge up here and just see if I can soften that a little bit. Yeah, that worked. If you've thought about getting this palette, then I would say now is the time before it sells out forever. From what I hear, they're not going to bring it back. Very different for me. Yeah, on the fence about that. But let's press on. I'm going to take the color Daydream onto my lid. That is such an interesting color. Yeah, it's got a blue shift to it. And these are very glittery, like going to the disco, but very pretty. I'm excited to try some of the other colors in this palette, but I don't want to overdo it. I'm feeling like it needs a little something. So I think what it needs, this brown chocolatey color called Quality Time, I'm just gonna use it to maybe to do a little wing and to line my upper lash line here. Now, are we gonna screw the whole thing up? I want to use my concealer and I'm just gonna try to clean this up using concealer. The edge, to make it a little bit of a sharper edge. I have a lot of glitter on my face. This N16 brush from BK Beauty, this is such a workhorse, I tell ya. If you're thinking about getting any of the brushes, that one is one to get. I've gotten a lot of sparkle on my face, but there is nothing I can do about that. They're just gonna have to be on my face. Well, first look, very different from anything I've done before, on camera or off. I haven't used this in a while. I'm gonna use the under eye brightener from Catrice to set my under eyes. From what I remember, I really liked this. Now, should I bring any of that color into my under eye? I think I should. I think I need to join all of this together so that it doesn't look so, you know, party on top, business down below. I'm just gonna take this tiny little brush and I'm gonna go into the color Affirmation, which is the lighter brown color. Oof, I'm glad I dabbed that on my hand because that came off pretty dark. And that's really not the brush that I wanted to use. More of a pencil brush. Coming back in with this liner brush, I'm going to take the color Treat. That brought it together. I think that looks a lot better. Just trying to connect it to that wing. That really brought it together, don't you think? From this distance, I can't see the sparkle, but when I look in my 10x mirror, I can see little glitter particles all over my face. But hey, it's not a problem. We're gonna move on. I brought in this Milani Dolce Pink. This is a baked blush. I think I'm gonna use that. I think I'm gonna use this one today. Being careful because I don't want it to get too bright. I want the eyes to be the focus. Yeah, very pretty, very glowy. I'm stamping a little bit off on the back of my hand just to make sure I don't go too dark with it. I think that looks pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and set my face with the Wet n Wild Loose setting powder. I've been wearing this constantly since I got it. Really good for setting under the eyes, but also very good for setting the face. I'm gonna go ahead and set this with the Fenty Beauty Mist. I'm gonna go ahead and tight line my lash line with the Sephora waterproof gel liner. And I promised I would get back to this, the Colossal Bubble. I didn't like it the first time I used it, but now I've been using it for a couple of weeks and I like it a lot better. I do actually like it. Is it my favorite? No, it's not my favorite, but it isn't as bad as I thought it was originally. Yeah, you gotta sometimes give mascaras a little time to become their best selves. Very nice. I mean, look how thick and long my lashes look. And they don't look spidery up close. Obviously, it's not like a natural look, but it's not a totally unnatural look either. I feel like it almost makes me look like I'm wearing false lashes. I'm just gonna build it up just a little bit. I'm gonna wipe off the brush quite a bit before I go in and do this, but I'm just gonna try to build up the outer lashes. Yeah, to give it a little, even more of that. Is she wearing false lashes? Got a little bit too much right there. No problem. That's why we keep a little spoolie on hand. For my lips, I want to keep it pretty neutral. So what I'm going to do is I'm using the Makeup Forever in Endless Cacao and just trying to create like a shadow under my lips so that it gives a little bit of volume. And I'm going to just do a little bit of lining on around my Cupid's bow. By the way, why is everybody filling in the space between their Cupid's bow? That I don't understand. Like if you have a Cupid's bow, it's pretty. I don't understand why everybody's filling in and trying not to have a Cupid's bow. I want a Cupid's bow. Everybody's different. And then I'm gonna use this Merit lip pencil in Coupe or Coupe and just sort of fill in my lip. It's funny how that looks more red in tone than I remember it looking because I wore this combination yesterday to work on my lips. And I used a different lip product than I'm going to use now because I want to lighten it up a little bit. So I'm using the Laura Mercier lip gloss in the color Macaron. Hopefully that'll lighten it, yeah. Oh, I think that looks pretty. We're shiny, we're glittery. We look like we're about to go out to the club. Well, here is the final look, and I love it. I love this palette already. I can't wait to use the other colors in it. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. And don't be afraid to wear color. Maybe some of you are a little bit older like I am. I'm in my 50s now, but for maybe the first time in my life, I'm really exploring more color in my makeup, and it's been a lot of fun, and I'm not afraid to experiment. Hey, I have nowhere to go today, and would I go out like this? Of course I would. Of course I would. I would go to the gym like this. Why not? I think it's a lot of fun. I don't think it's too over the top either. Like, it's a lot for me, and sometimes I say that. I say it's a lot whenever I'm trying some of these more bold looks, but I think it's so much fun, and why not? You know, life is short. Wear the purple eyeshadow. So that was the only new product that I tried out this time. And yes, like I said, very excited to try out some of these other colors. By the way, this sort of stained my arm, this color up here. So buyer beware that, you know, some of these colors that have red pigment in them might stain. So that would be interesting to see. I'm definitely gonna try it out because I'm very curious to see how this color would look on me. But that will be another day, maybe another video, we'll see. Just to recap, this Milani Conceal and Perfect, really good. They're calling it a skin tint stick, but you know, anyways, it's a foundation stick. Very good quality. I love that it's not too glowy or too matte. It's just sort of in between. I think it's really nice and natural looking for summer. So check that out if you're looking for a foundation stick. And again, this isn't a new product. I've had this for several months, but this is a really nice baked blush. I think that's so pretty. What I like about this one is it does add like a glowiness to your skin. Now, if you want something matte, this is not gonna be your girl. But if you like that sort of glowy look, then this one is really nice. Without being shiny, but just like sort of a very soft, ethereal glow. And this is a really good cream bronzer. I'm so surprised. I've been using it all week, like I said, and really loving it. And you can build it up or you can sheer it up. I have more of a sheer look going right now. I think this looks a little more natural, but very pretty. Gives you just that little bit of bronzing so that you don't look overdone. It's like, is she or isn't she wearing bronzer? This one is very natural looking. And I'll just talk about this briefly again. I am putting together, and I have it on my list of videos to film, my mascara roundup. And I have collected over 25 mascaras, or I should say I've used over 25. My list is very extensive over the past year and a half. And so this one is rating really high up there on volumizing and lengthening with minimal. I haven't had any smudging. I've had very minimal flaking, just little tiny dot flakes at the end of the day. This is not as easy to remove as a tubing mascara. I love a tubing mascara. And I prefer that formula on a pretty much everyday basis because I find it's much more gentle in the removal process. But anyways, it's not as bad as a waterproof formula would be as far as removal, but you know, it's also not as easy to get off as, say, a tubing formula. But I think it's a really good formula. I actually do. It's definitely grown on me over the past couple of weeks. All right, well, that does it for me. Again, I will list everything below. And if you've tried any of these products, let me know, and let me know how they're working for you. It's often helpful for people to see how products are working for other people and whether you would suggest some of these, especially some of the newer releases. And also, don't forget to subscribe and to give this video a like. It really helps the algorithm. And when you subscribe, hit that notification bell too, so you know right when I upload. Well, until next time, I thank you so much for being with me today. It means so much to me. I love you guys so much. I have some of the best viewers. I have some of the nicest, most loyal viewers out there. And although my channel is still small at this point, don't think that you go unnoticed. I noticed you and I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being with me today. It means so much to me. And you know what? You're doing great.